Hey everyone, thought I'd do a video, and today I'm going to be showing you my TBR for the Mental Health Awareness Readathon. So I wanted to do the Mental Health Awareness Readathon because it's a little bit more closer to home. I have dealt with anxiety for as long as I can remember. I remember being super scared of everything as a child, and I've also dealt with depression for about 4.5 years now. I don't really like talking about it all that much. I just thought I'd add it in there because I know how serious of an issue it can be. And so I just wanted to get into this because more people are reluctant to see the issues with mental health, and I know for a fact that it's not fun at all. So I looked through my shelves to see if there was anything involving mental health, and there are quite a few here. I'll also show you some ones that I'm not planning on reading in this readathon because I've already just recently read them. So I'll also show you that, but I also have quite a big stack of books that I do want to read. So hopefully I'll be able to read them all. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So the first two books that I'm going to show you involve mental health issues, but I'm not going to be reading them in this readathon because I just recently read them. So the first one that I'm going to show you here is Impulse by Hopkins. This is the first book in a duology, I believe. The second one is called Perfect. I am planning on buying that as soon as I get money. But this book is really good. It involves 3 teenagers that were close to death, and they're all in this kind of hospital to hopefully get better. And all of them are dealing with depression, and some of them are dealing with anxiety. One of them is dealing with bipolar disorder. So it is a really nice book. It really paints a picture of how intense it can sometimes be, especially in more secluded area. And it also shows a little bit of how each of them kind of heals a little bit to hopefully get a better future. I really love this book. I just recently read it, and it was the second time that I read it, and I just love it because the second time is even better because sometimes I don't even realize that I missed some things or I forgot some things, so it was a lot of fun to read it. The next book that I'm going to show you is Looking for Alaska by John Green. The main character, I don't believe he had any type of mental disorder of any kind, but a friend of his in here actually had kind of a mental disorder. I think it might have been PTSD or maybe even just depression. I know for a fact that she had depression, but it's a really nice book. It's really inspiring. I really love this. It was kind of sad in my opinion. So be warned of that because I definitely didn't see that coming. But it is a really good book and it's worth the read. So the next few books that I'm going to be showing you are the ones that I'm going to hopefully read during this readathon. So the first one is called Speak. It is by Laurie, Halse Anderson. It's been out for quite a bit. It's been out since like 2000 or something like that. But I hear it's a really good book. It's also out in a movie, and I kind of been wanting to watch that movie, but I kind of like reading the book before I watch the movie, so I definitely want to read this. I think she's dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder because of this party that she went to. She went to a party and she kind of busted this party by calling the police. So a lot of people know about that, and they're really hardcore just disliking her, and she's dealing with something that happened at the party and nobody knows what that something is. So I want to find out what that something is, and I want to really get into it and see what happens. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this book. This next book I have here is Stolen by Lucy Christopher. It's where this guy kidnaps this one girl and takes her to an island of some kind. Apparently he had like a sort of crappy upbringing, I guess. So it just kind of led him to do something like that. I heard somewhere that this has mental disorders of some kind, so I want to read it, see what happens. I don't exactly know much more about that in the mental health department, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So the next book that I have here is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I really love her work, especially in the Delirium trilogy. So I'm excited to read some more of her work. This one involves a girl who relives her last day for a really long time, and she's trying to figure out how to get out of this constant loop of living the same day over and over again. It deals with bulimia, I believe. I think it deals with depression. I'm not really sure. I heard somewhere that it deals with stuff like that, so I thought it'd be nice to include in this little readathon. So I'm super excited to try this out, see what happens, and hopefully just end up loving another Lauren Oliver book. So this next book is called Every You, Every Me by David Levithan. I read somewhere that this deals with mental health. I think on Goodreads it has it under the mental health section. So I don't really know much about any of the mental health issues that are involved in this book, but basically what happens is there's this kid and his best friend kind of just disappears, but he keeps finding pictures of himself in different positions every single day, and he's wondering if it's his best friend, and apparently I think he had something to possibly do with her disappearance. At least that's what it kind of implies. So that's just kind of the background of it. I want to see what kind of mental health issues are involved in this book and hopefully be a little enlightened. So I'm definitely excited for this. I heard David Levithan is a really good author, so it'll be my first David Levithan book. So I'm super excited about that as well. So this next book is called The Program. It is by Suzanne Young, and this book definitely deals with mental health issues. Basically what it's saying is when teenagers get depressed, it's like they need to go into the program so that they don't have to deal with stuff like that, I guess. And it's like seriously treated to the point where when you get out of the program, your whole memory is wiped. You don't have any recollection of what happened in your life up until that point. So it's a little bit more of a creepier novel because of all of that. Even though your memory is wiped, you're cured basically because you don't have that depression anymore. So it's like set in like a mental hospital, I guess. I don't know. It's set in some type of hospital, at least that's what I hear. But I heard this is really good. I've had it for a little while now, so I figure it's a good time to bring this out and see what happens. This is a duology, but it also has like 3 stories attached to it. So I'm definitely excited to get into that. So the next book that I have here is called The Hunger. It's by Marsha Forchuk-Skrypacz. I could be butchering that name, but I have read this before. It's really good, and it deals with a teenager that has body image issues to the point where she develops anorexia and bulimia, and it kind of goes a little bit into more historical fiction as well. So it goes back and forth between historical fiction as well as more modern day fiction. So it's a really nice book. I'm definitely excited to hopefully read this again and get to it. I'm going to try to attack the rest of the TBR pile before I go into this one because I have read this one already, but I wanted to also mention it in this whole readathon and TBR because it is a really good book, and I will reread it as long as I finish the rest of my TBR pile for this readathon. So I just wanted to mention that. So that is the end of this video. I hope you guys check some of these books out and maybe even participate in this readathon, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So bye.